everyone. With this graduation card, I used both my Silhouette Cameo and my Cricut Expressions. For the Silhouette Cameo, I used a design I got out of the library. It's by Lori Whitlock, and it is this card here. And this card, you're able to, as you can see, change the year. I only am using the actual card. So let me zoom out here. I will be using this portion here, and then this portion here, and the year. And the rest of it, I'm not going to be using too much of it. I want the main card to be right around 6 inches. So what we need to do is we need to resize this as a group so everything stays in scale. So once you've selected this card, and we want to make sure that's on there, we want to resize it. And I know that it's going to be right around 17 and 18ths of an inch. And let's see how close that got us. If we ungroup this, and that got us to 6.02, which I'm fine with. So this portion here, I'm going to be cutting on green cardstock. The colors of our high school are green, black, and white. So I'm going to be cutting this on green cardstock. I'm going to be cutting the 13 and this portion in black cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and start with the green. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the things that I don't need so I don't get confused. So we're going to get rid of those. And I'll be using everything else. So let's go ahead and make sure everything is exactly grouped so when we move it, the lines and everything stay the same. And then we're going to go ahead and start by cutting the green cardstock out here, and then we'll go on to the black cardstock. So let's go ahead and, now that we have our green card base cut out, we can go ahead and get rid of that. And then what we're going to want to do is cut out this portion, what is going to wrap around the card, and this 13. And I want these done in black. And I'm actually going to use some glitter glue on the 13 to kind of make it pop. So we're going to go ahead and cut these out on black, and this portion will be done. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to do on the inside of the card. Okay? So now that we have the front or the card cut out, we are going to go ahead and take a look on the inside of the card. Now the inside of the card I wanted to make very personalized since it is a graduation card, and I wanted to use photos of my niece from graduation and her senior pics. So I'm going to show you how we incorporate that into our project. First thing we need to do is we need to take a look at the card. So here's the card. We have the center portion, the left, and the right. Now right now these are grouped for you. So you're going to want to go ahead and right click and ungroup them. Once we've ungrouped them, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do some offsets. And the reason why is I want my back to be black, and then on the internal offset we're going to be using photos. So go ahead and hit internal offset, and I want to do them at 1/4 of an inch. So 0.25. We're going to do that for all 3, and we're going to go ahead and move the back of these off of the page because we just are going to be printing those on black construction paper. Okay, so these back ones, let's go ahead and move out of the way. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and go on Facebook or in my own photo library, and I want to go ahead and download some photos onto my desktop that I want to use. So I have my 3 photos here, and the great thing about the Silhouette Studio Designer Edition software is when I click and drag these photos into my box, it automatically formats it in there for me. It's so cool. So we're going to go ahead and do that to each side of the photo. So I have my left side and my right side. Now in the center, instead of bringing the picture of my brother and sister-in-law and my niece right there in the middle, actually I'm just going to bring that onto the page because I also have a quote that I want to put above that. So we're going to go ahead and shrink this down to whatever size you want it to be and put it on our page. That looks just about right. Now on the top portion of this, that is going to be our quote, or you can put whatever you want there. The quote I've chosen, I've already typed it up, is right here. And what it says, if you can't see that, is, in 20 years, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall, in a way you can't grasp now, how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. Now, I went ahead and did that in capitals here. I did it at a 19.7 point text size, and I centered that. And when I move that in the center here, you're going to see it's still too big. So I'm going to want to go ahead and kind of shrink that down some more. And when it comes to the colors, what we want to look at is her colors are green, white, and black. We did the card in green. These offsets here are going to be in black, and this is going to be in white. So I also want my writing to be in black. So let's go ahead and see how we're doing on size here. Still a little too big, so we need to shrink it down. There we go. And I want to go ahead and do this in black writing. And I also want to make sure my line color up here with the lines is in black. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and bring that into session here. And I want to center all of this to make sure it looks perfect. So I'm going to go over here where these 3 lines are. And I'm going to do a line center. And what that's going to do is it's going to align all of these so everything's nice and perfect. And I'm going to bring it up just a little to separate it from that picture. Alright, now over on each side of here, I wanted to make sure that she knew it was from me and her Uncle Sean, and that also that kind of a congrats or way to go. I already pre-typed these, and I did them using the Times Roman, and I did them at the 18 text size. Now, what you can do with these is you can actually overlap these on your picture and move them around. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to go ahead and make the color here. So I'm going to do it in black, and then I'm going to do the line color in black as well. And then we can move it anywhere here. Now, if the black, obviously, the black doesn't show up too well, so I'm going to actually change that to white. Oh, perfect. And I need to shrink it to make sure it fits a little bit in here. And what's cool about this is you can actually move it around using this. So you can kind of, I want to go ahead and tilt that to kind of make it fun looking. And I'm going to make it just a little bigger here. And it will print right off the photo. So that looks good right about there. And then we're going to do the same thing for this, where it says congrats you did it, and I'm going to do it on this side of her. So once again, I'm going to change the line color to white, and I'm going to change it to white. And we're going to do that one right about here. Oops. That went all the way upside down. All right. So you can go ahead and play around with all the different colors, see how you like it. Now, because this is a print and cut, we do need to set up our page. So what we're going to go ahead and do is tell it that we want to show the registration marks. And I print on 8.5 by 11. And then you can kind of move everything around to make sure it fits in there. Go ahead and print this out on your paper, and then we're going to go ahead and cut it. And then go ahead and cut these 3 items on whatever back of the color stock you want to. So on mine, I'm going to be using black. All right, so go ahead and get all that ready, and I'll show you what we should have and how we'll put the card together. Then we're going to go ahead and look at the Cricut Expression and Cricut Craft Room so I can show you how we can print off the school's mascot. All right, so now that we have created that, we've printed it and cut it, I do want to give you, I want to go back and let you know something that I forgot to tell you. When I told you to create the Congrats You Did It, the Love Uncle Kenny, Uncle Sean, and this here, the one thing I forgot to tell you, and it's very important, is to make sure to go into your cut settings and make sure you're not cutting around those words. Because if not, you're going to print it, you're going to put it into your cutter, it's going to cut around those words, and you're going to say, oh, dang it, I just wanted it to cut the edge. So make sure you go in and do that. Very important. All right, so now that we're at this point, let's kind of take a inventory of what we have up to this point. So what we have is we have the actual card. This is the card, the outside of the card. Now what I did on the outside of the card is you can see where we're going to be folding it. So essentially this will be the back of the card, and then we're going to fold those, and that will be the inside of the card. All I did was I took some black stickles glue, and I just drew some circles, some curly cues, just to give it a nice texture. And I wanted to use the school color, so whatever school color you're working with. In her case, she's the East Valley Knights, and they are green, black, and white. We'll talk about the mascot later and how we're going to incorporate that. So we have her card. We have the year that she's graduating. Now, once again, I just used Stickles Diamond glitter glue and put that over that, and it's not, you can't see all the glitter just because the light's hitting it funny, but we have that. We have the outside of the card that's going to actually shut the card, and this is what we're going to have the mascot on. So when the card folds up, this is going to be a wrap around the card, and it will have the mascot. Over here, we have our backing, which is done in black construction paper. Then we have our things that we created cut out, and those will be on the inside of the card. Now we need to create our mascot, and we're going to do that using the Cricut Team Spirit cartridge. Now this cartridge has a ton of different mascots. As you can see on the front, it has an eagle, it's got a tiger. On the back, there's some more examples of what it has. A bulldog, it's got the alligators, the bumblebees, the panthers, the cowboys, the knights. That's the one we're actually going to be utilizing right now, is the Knight. She's the East Valley Knights, so that is the one we're going to be using. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and launch Cricut Craft Room. We're going to make those cuts. Once we've made those cuts, we're going to go ahead and start putting together this card to see how it all comes together. So after you launch Cricut Craft Room, we're going to be working with the Team Spirit cartridge. So if you've linked your cartridges, you can go to My Cartridges to find that cartridge, or you can go find the cartridge and insert your cartridge into the machine. We're using the Cricut Mini, so I have my mat set to that. And I'm doing my images at 5 inches. So I'm going to go and change my default height down here to 5 inches, okay? So one feature I love about Cricut Craft Room is the layer feature. And we are going to be working with a total of 6 different layers here. So I like to add layers because it just gives me a visual that I can look at to say, okay, I'm working with layer 1. And then I like to just change the color to very different colors instead of having some reds and too close to each other. I just changed that to orange, so we want to change the color on this one to yellow. And we have, let's see, blue, we have a dark green, and let's change this one to white. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so let's go and start with our layer 1. And I had chosen to do the knight in here, so we're going to go to mascot. And my shift is off, and the first thing we're going to do is layer 1, which is going to be this guy right here. Now, for me, to save time, I like to layer everything on one sheet and then print. So I'll actually cut my paper, like in this color I'm doing it in a dark green. I'm going to cut my paper at 4 inches and 6 inches, so this way I can minimize the amount of cuts I'm going to do. Alright, so layer 2, we're going to go ahead and go to layer 2. We're going to hit shift, and then we're going to go and do this right up here. Now this guy is a darker gray. Layer 3, we're going to go to the mascot layer here, turn off my shift, and let me go ahead and scroll this down for us. Alright, and this one is going to be, its layer is yellow, but it's actually going to be a light gray. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up. Now, the one thing that I've said in many of my videos that you're experiencing now that I do not like with Cricut Craft Room is the lag. So, like right now, I just pushed this button down and it didn't do anything. So, I don't know if other people have experienced that. It could just be my computer. I'm not sure. But at times, I have seen a lag in something that I've done, and that's my biggest complaint with Cricut Craft Room. Alright, so that was our layer 3. We're going to do our layer 4, which is a shift. And it's right here. This is going to be done in a darker green, not as dark as this green. We're then now going to go to our layer 5. We're going to shift. No, we're not. I lied to you. We're actually going to go to mascot layer 2, take our shift off. We're going to add this. Okay. Now I'm going to hide that because I do need to rearrange some stuff here because our last layer is very, it's a pretty big guy that I want to minimize. Like I said, I like to minimize my cuts. I like to save time. So that is why I'm going to kind of try to move some stuff around here. And what I'll do is once I have all my layers on here, I will visually cut my paper down and have one cut. I know some people like to do it different, to each his own. So that's what I do though. So we're going to shift. We're going to make sure we're on layer 6, which we are. We're going to bring that up and it is right there. Okay. So that is all of our layers. As you can see, we're going to have the shadow, layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, layer 4, and layer 5. So go ahead, get your paper set up or cut out however you want, and then we're going to put it together. I'm going to show you the finished product put together and what design elements I chose on this night to bring it home, and then we're going to put the card together. Alright, so by now you've cut out all of your pieces, and I've already went ahead and constructed the finished product here. Now, the way it was built is you have obviously your black shadow on the bottom. I have my layer 1, which is this dark green color. Layer 2 is the darker gray. Layer 3 is the light gray. Layer 4 is this green. Layer 5 is this green. And then of course the layer 6 is the black shadow on the end. Now, once I put this all together, what I did is I added some Zig Painty metallic silver marker, and I did that on everything that was the layer 3. So, I'm not sure if you can see it right there, but it is all a silver metallic. And then I used one of my favorite crafting items, which is Stickles glue. And it was perfect because it's lime green, so it worked perfect with my green color. And I wanted to give it kind of the feather on top of his hat. That's why I used it, to give it some definition between the greens here. So as you can see here, that is where I did that. So it was very simple to put together. Once again, I used the Team Spirit Cricut cartridge. And the great thing about this is there's a whole bunch of different mascots that you can use. So I definitely think for graduation, school, anything that you're going to use for teams, this is a great, great cartridge. So that takes care of our mascot. So we have all of our pieces. We just now need to assemble it and finish it. Alright, so let's go and do that. The inside is very easy to put together. This was using mostly everything that we created on the Silhouette Cameo. So you're going to have your, what I call the shadow piece, which is those black pieces. And then we did the offset, which is the inner piece here. So you're just going to go ahead and tape those down to the cardstock. Now what I use, and it's been successful, is I use the Scotch AGT wide rule. I just put it on the back here and paste those down. And then, of course, what you're going to want to do is measure it, line it up, and then I went ahead and pasted the center with the photo of her and her parents, my little quote, and then each one to each side. So that's the inside of the card. Now, when this card closes, it will look like this. And that's where the swirls come in. So let's go ahead and take a look how we constructed this outside here. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so now on the outside of the card, I put a paper clip up here just to keep the card closed for now. The elements we have on the outside is we're going to have our year, which is 13. And I've already ran that through my Xyron, which is one of my favorite tools, create a sticker. And we're going to be putting that in the lower right-hand corner down here. Now, the next thing we're going to have is our mascot, which is the knight here. And it's going to take up the majority of our card. Now, on this, we don't want to obviously paste it there because it's going to obviously be closing the card because you won't be able to open the card. What we're going to do is on this side, we are going to put one, or you could put two foam dots. And we'll usually put them right on the edge here. And what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and hold this in place. and it is going to raise it up a little bit. So when the person actually opens this card, they can grab the mascot and open it this way, but it still gives the illusion that it's in the center. Then, to close the card, we have this. Now, this was part of that silhouette in the very beginning graduation card. When we cut this and the inside of the card, you had this piece. Now, what I've done is the card called for it to overlap each other in the front here, and I went ahead and cut that off, and using my Crocodile, which is right over here, I went ahead, got some eyelets, which are right here, and I went ahead and put those on there, and then we're going to be putting ribbon through that to close it in the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all constructed for you and show you the finish. Okay, everyone, here is the finished result. So we have our tie hidden behind our mascot, and that's just for room elements. We have our 13 down here, and then we have our mascot there. So as you can see, kind of from top to bottom, there is the finished result. If you look at it while holding it, you can see that your mascot is raised up. Now, when obviously they open this, they're going to untie right here. This piece will fall off, and then you can actually, as you can see, he's only attached to one side, so you're going to be able to open him. So this is what the outside will look like, and then let me go ahead and show you what it will look like when we actually open it. Okay, so once the person, whoever you're giving to this, opens this, obviously they're going to be able to slide that right off. And then, as you can see there, and that's what I was talking about, it is raised up with foam squares. So let me see if I can show you that, just on the one side. So when they open this, they can actually open this over and open it just like that. So this card was actually very simple to make. I think it's a great card. It sums up graduation and uses their school spirit. So I hope I gave you some good ideas of a different way to give someone a graduation card. I did two different styles of these. I had two graduations. Luckily for me, both of them were a night. So I lucked out. The school colors were different. The other ones, school colors were red, black, and white. This was green, black, and white. So I'll post pictures of both of them, and then of course I'll be posting the video of how this one was done. But you can easily change the colors to whatever school, and you're also able to change the mascot real easy. So thank you everyone for checking out this video. Thanks for following my blog at www.creativeken.blogspot.com. And make sure you share, like, and comment on all my videos. I really enjoy hearing feedback. So thanks again for stopping by. I hope you guys enjoyed this project, and I will be back soon with lots more. Thanks.